Hey YouTube, some 2 hours after the event news was released, they actually released the Pokemon Go Battle League. So let's look at the information of the season because there's a couple things I want to highlight, and then we're gonna focus on the Go Battle League and what I think it means short term, and then I'll do more deep depth, like look at when PvPoke updates, look at like moves and stuff like that. Um, so new season. There's a couple things new Poison Pin Pokemon Poipo. Again, I don't know the newer Pokemon, but it's a special like timed research for the whole season. So I'm guessing it's like a pretty big one. Um, and then there is a Pokemon debut. I'm not going to go over this event because outside of these new Pokemon here, which hello are egg locked. Um, you I don't know. Again, I don't know them yet. Once they're updated on PvPoke, I'll look at stats and look at that, and I'll go in deep depth. So I will do it beyond the hype on these Pokemon individually when it's time. The event itself, like most of these Pokemon wild encounters, are just stuff we've seen 100 times in the past. So outside of these sort of new Pokemon, which this one seems to be behind eggs, um, I don't know how great this event is going to be. Um, Shadows, if you care about the Shadow sort of Raikou and Antai and Suicune, those are there. A ticket coming, community days, no, nothing announced, but dates if you want to do that. Okay, we'll go to Go Battle League in 1 second. Research breakthrough, like getting a Jangmo or Gumi is fine, although Gumi's going to get a community day this year anyways. But like, again, breakthrough encounters haven't been useful in years now. In terms of Pokemon appearing wild Pokemon, Pokemon appearing in different areas depending on where you are. There's nothing on this list of the city that gets to me as opposed to just like get some bonus dust with these Pokemon, Togetic and Gardevoir. It's like Scraggy if you don't have one for like Scrafty for Ultra League. But in terms of like the Pokemon that have been listed in like Forest, there's Medi here in the mountains. There's nothing that like really pops out as like you should go hunt this. If you're in the northern hemisphere, Mawile, Bagan, decent Pokemon there, and then southern hemisphere, like Skarmory, I guess if you want. Like so, the wild spawns are never amazing, but there's so many events that the spawn rate turns over so quickly it doesn't matter too much. In terms of eggs, again, the Larvesta is the only thing you're really looking for in the guaranteed there. Again, if you don't have like Lickitung, Sableye, Scrolp, these are decent 5 kilometer eggs. 7 kilometer eggs, I am never a fan of what you get in the 7 kilometer eggs. 10 kilometer eggs, Freebax, Turtonator, and Charcadet. So a new Pokemon. So 10 kilometer eggs seem to be not bad. Actually, stuff that I wouldn't actually mind doing it. Although I'm not going to go hunt for the eggs. If I get them, I get them. This was the biggest disappointment, even more so than the 2 hours delay. The seasonal bonuses for next year are really, really bad. The only one that's useful, additional free raid pass, like of course, getting a free raid is just essentially free coins, right? Just being able to do that free raid. So that is huge. But increased damage with friends and then increased XP for lower raids. Like, we know we weren't going to get the trading candy. That's fine. But like, no good dust. No good even friendship bonuses, no good like XL candy from raids, or like there's nothing. Like one free pass, yes, an extra free potential legendary raid if you can do it is great. But man, that is kind of weak sauce. Okay, Go Battle League. In terms of leagues, Great League Open, Electric Cup, whatever. We're not doing single typing cups because, we said that multiple times. Multiple weeks of Great League Spring Cup, so I'll look at that in 1 second. Ultra League, Mesh League, Great League, Ultra League. Premier, finally they bring back Premier. So Premier is no legendary Pokemon. Yes, XL Pokemon, but no legendary Pokemon. So in Ultra League, no Giratinas, no Cresselias, stuff like that. And I think I saw down there. I'll go over that in a second. 2 weeks of Jungle Cup. It gives you options versus Ultra League and Master League, but again, it's going to be limited. Master League Premier on during the Great League, which is kind of like, at least it gives people options if the Great League is stale, which, spoiler alert, maybe. Master Premier, again, no legendaries. So really interesting because then it's like Master League is dominated by legendaries, right? So if you're looking at the non-legendaries, you're looking at Dragonite, Gyarados, Excadrill, Metagross. Like those are the staples of the Premier in the class in the past. Great League Remix. We'll take a look at what the remix actually is. Another Catch Cup. Again with the Catch Cup, and then open. Okay. Go Battle Weekend, May 4th and 5th. Pokemon Europe Champions bonus. Okay, so you get to do more during this week, more battles. Okay, that's fine. Encounters, nothing new there. Don't really care about those. Let's look at this pose. Okay, very like, I'll say like Taekwondo because that could not be right, but very like what you get with like ninja style. Okay, Electric Cup, we're not playing that because that's just one. Spring Cup is Water, Grass, and Fairy with Mantine and Toxapex not allowed. So Grass beats Water and Fairy if you're half poison. Okay, so Grass should be pretty dominant in this meta. Fairy can do well against Water and Grass in general. I don't like it. On first look, this does not look good. And it's 2 weeks during the Ultra League and Master League. So crap, right off the bat, doesn't look optimistic. Again, we'll look at the full rankings when it comes out, but not optimistic. So again, Premier, I just went over. No mythical, no ultras. Jungle Cup is options, right? Lots of options, which is good. Normal, Grass, Electric, Poison, Ground, Flying, Bug, and Dark. I love this. I love when they have at least like 5+ typings. Taking out Gligar and Stunfisk. Again, I'll go over this when it comes out, when the league comes out, but on first look, enough Pokemon there. Master League Premier just went over. Okay, let's see what is banned. Okay. Way better. Yes, Lickitung's there. Hello. Lantern, Azumarill, Skarmory, Whiscash. Hello. Skeletor's an interesting one. Clodsire is an interesting one as well. No like Poliwrath. Annihilape is too new to be banned, I think. No Annihilape. All like the G-Fisk and Registeel and Bastion and Defenseoxys. So this is closer to what a band should look like. And again, stuff like Wiggly's in there because it's for everyone over Ace ranking, I think. Yeah, Ace and above. And a lot of people in the lower tiers use Wiggly. So this, I think, is a more realistic outlook of what the meta should be. Catch Cup, again, we don't care about Catch Cup. Okay, new attacks. Again, the only problem is they give you the power for fast attack. They don't give you how much energy it gets. So a lot of these electric Pokemon getting a steel move, a steel Pokemon getting I saw a bunch of electric, but it's a steel Pokemon getting steel type fast moves. Again, tough to say it's a huge improvement or not. Magneton, if it's like a fast charging, 6 power is the thing is, if you go to moves and you just want to organize by damage, just to like guess like what a fast move could be, you got variations, right? In the 6s here, like you got 2-turn fast moves with okay energy, 2-turn fast move with quicker energy, sorry, damage, not turns. These are 3-turn fast moves. I was looking at the damage ratio there. You got like Hex get a buff? No, Astonish got a buff. So I don't know. It's going to fall somewhere in this range. Again, we'll just wait to see what happens. Could be an increase for some of these, like Magnezone and Magneton kind of rely on the Volt Switch right now, and we'll see if it gives them more play otherwise. Psywave. It looks like 3 power, which is not a lot of power, which makes me think that this is a very Psycho Cut clone here, right? 3 power. It could be something like 3 power, but very, very fast energy generation. So would energy generation help? Malamar already has Psycho Cut, so I don't understand why that would help him at all. And the rest of these Pokemon are kind of weak to begin with. So I don't know how much this will help overall, but we'd have to see it in play. Sand Attack, a 2 power move, which means that you're looking like a potential Fury Cutter clone here. A Fury Cutter clone, which is just like a fast charging move. Not a lot of damage, fast charging though. Giving it on a lot of Pokemon. So a fast charging Pokemon on Staraptor, if you want to get to, if you're running, like just on first looks of this, if this is truly a fast charging move, something like Staraptor where you're getting to Nukes, or Paleo Sand, which has like the Shadow Ball, Scorching Sands combo. Like if you're getting to those move faster, that is an increase for these Pokemon. So you could see an uptick in Staraptor and Paleo Sand. Okay, attack changes. No Scald, unfortunately, and I think that they actually just buffed Waters a lot, because you're going to see a couple buffed water moves, couple buffed water Pokemon with new moves, and no nerf to Scald. So it's just kind of like, and you just brought in two. This was the first thing that I noticed. You brought in a Steel move, which water resist, and you brought in a bunch of new ground moves, which water does super effective against, and you buffed Aqua Tail, you buffed Water Pulse, and you gave water Pokemon new moves. So it's just like water, like all better. So you just like buffed water, which was already like so overrepresented in this meta, even more so. And Airconod with Water Pulse, I think, is a huge upgrade for this Pokemon too. But it's just like you just buffed 100 water Pokemon in a Pokemon that already had like 15 water Pokemon in the top 30. Like, I don't understand it. Those numbers are obviously just joking around, but I was kind of just like, okay, that's weird. Shadow Bone, okay. Marowak gets a little boost. Brick Break. Energy cost increase, but lowers your opponent's defense by 1. So this is going to make, if you don't, I mean, Vigoroth with Rock Slide, Body Slam is awesome. But if you had like a Brick Break, if you wanted to use it in limited metas where Brick Break is a decent move, and then you can just like counter damage more, potentially you'd have to run Sims on that. Cross Shot boost, Aqua Tail boost. So Aqua Tail boost, which Pokemon get Aqua Tail? I know Gyarados is the obvious one. Oh yeah, there are a couple other Pokemon like Quagsire with a community move with Aqua Tail. Oh, Shadow Dragonair, right, is your main water move. So that is actually pretty good. Dragulge and some of these other Pokemon. So these should see a slight uptick. Not a ton, but Dragonair was already kind of cool. So, and with increased water, Dragonair even more so, right? So Water Pulse, big buff, 70 to 80 power and energy cost decrease. So Water Pulse got a huge buff here. So the question is, who runs Water Pulse? Mantine. And Mantine was suffering from a water... Oh, look, Whiscash. How fun. But Mantine was already... Do Whiscash actually just get another buff? What are the stats on... Scald was 50 for 122 with Stab, 2.45. Like, Scald is just so... And this is 80 power... I'd have to look at the stats. It's probably, 60 energy. So no, it's still, depends how much they decrease the energy. Because they decrease it by 5 to 55 energy, which is probably what they're going to do. Because they can't make it 50. Because if they make it 50 and 80 with Stab, I guess it's still under Scald. I guess they could move. They'll probably make it 55. But Water Pulse, I think Mantine's the biggest winner here, because it really struggled from a water move. You had to build Beam Bait, but now to actually have a nice water move here is pretty big on Mantine, getting that Stab water move. So I think Mantine just got a big bump there. Clodsire has it too, eh? It's interesting. I don't think I would run Clodsire with anything other than Earthquake and Stone Edge, and some people use Sledge Bomb. I don't know if a Water Pulse actually makes it that much more useful. Dugong too. So there's an interesting water. We'll have to see the stats when it comes out. Goodra with Aqua Tail, I think this is just useful for maybe Ultra League, Match League. Empoleon with Steel Wing. So, in terms of Steel Wing versus Waterfall, Waterfall is a, let's do Waterfall and then Steel Wing side by side here. So what are you getting with Steel Wing on Empoleon that you're not getting with Waterfall? Waterfall was a very high damage move. So let's look at the damage per turn. But 4 damage per turn, higher energy, but slower energy generation, 2.66. You now have a decent energy, decent damage, 3.5, slightly less, but like way higher energy. So to give up a little bit of damage, but get way more energy, to get to those hydro cannons faster with a good steel water typing, I think this Pokemon has definitely, like, my immediate improvements I've seen, I think water just in general, I think Whiscash actually got a buff unsuspectingly here, but Empoleon with Steel Wing is huge. And then for Alligator is huge too, because it was kind of useless with Waterfall. But now to go from, again, Waterfall to Shadow Claw. Right? You give up a bit of energy, but you get a ton. So you get a bit of damage, but you get a ton of energy. And that is just huge, being able to get to a Hydro as well. So again, buff to water, buff to water, buff to water. It's just like, okay. Gallade with Psycho Cut is an interesting one, because Gallade's so glassy. But Gallade has access to close combat. Gallade has access to close combat. And Leaf Blade, which is the 2 moves it uses. But if you have a faster, because Leaf Blade was a bait move, but if you have a really, really, really fast energy generating move and you have close combat, and maybe you go like Psychic or Synchronize as your second, a stab Psychic move, like that could be interesting on Gallade. Airquinette, I think this is a huge increase. You're going to buff. Airquinette always suffered from, it was such a bulky Pokemon, good fast move, good charge move, crappy water move. And now you just gave it a buffed water move. So again, another water Pokemon buffed. Again, a bunch of these Pokemon are now getting Brick Break. I don't think Brick Breaks, yes, maybe it'll Hackmo in the limited cups, which you are using it anyways, just having it buffed. It is more energy, so we'll see what that buff offsets or not. Could be helpful here, but I don't think it moves the needle on any of these Pokemon. Mud Shot moves the needle on these Pokemon for sure. So Doug Trio is the obvious one. Mud Shot was a legacy move, so you had to use Mud Slap before. So Doug Trio just got better with Mud Shot. Graveler and Golem is an interesting one, because you're normally using like Volt Switch or the Rock Slides, or like the Rock Smackdown, the Rock Throw moves, a Smackdown or Rock Throw. But now just to get a fast, I guess I can just go look it up. This is not a Graveler, this is just Graveler, right? Or is it going to affect both of them? That's what I'm unclear. These are clearly the Gravelers for Kanto region. Graveler and Golem from Kanto region, which were much worse. But even with Mud Shot, it's not. I don't know. We'll have to see if it's, because a Graveler is the one that you always use, right? You never really just use Graveler or Golem that aren't Alalon. They're just so much better. And then so getting Mud Shot there, unless it's the wrong one, I don't know if that does anything. Starmie with Psybeam. I can't imagine that's going to do much. No, that's not going to do much. Draining Kiss, maybe, probably not. Lileep with Bullet Seed. Gastrodon with Earthquake. Gastrodon, you're using Mud Slap anyway, so I don't think it's going to affect too much. Okay, so that's the update. I'll do a more when PV Poke updates, look at the in-depth of what everything means here. I think there's a couple things winners and losers here. I think the obvious winner, like you can just go like the winners, which are the obvious, just straight buffs to moves, like Shadowbone. Marowak is a winner, sure. Aquatail buff. Dragonair is a winner. Water Pulse buff, like water. Just water Pokemon getting buffs left, right, and center here, with steals and grounds also getting buffs, so even more of those to beat. Like, I don't understand. I don't understand why they just buffed water. Again, look at these water Pokemon that are already dominating. Swampert, Lantern, Mantine, Quagsire, Whiscash, Azumarill, Poliwrath, Pelipper, like, and now Airquinid is going to jump up a bit. Feraligatr is going to jump up, and Empoleon is going to jump up. It's just like, you just made waters even more. But there's not enough. The problem with these movesets are, and this is actually quite a I know some people are saying this is a good update because there are some Pokemon that get good stuff. This is actually quite a disappointing update in terms of the meta. Because you're going to have waters increase a bit. You're going to have a couple odd Pokemon like Dragonair increase a bit, Marowak increase a bit. But for the most part, it's unchanged, right? If you just look at the PV Poke rankings, nothing that's been buffed or nerfed changes up this enough. Maybe with the buffed water Pokemon everywhere, Gligar a bit less, maybe Carbink a bit less with the Steel Wing, Empoleon and waters, maybe. But like, it won't change Lickitung, Registeel, Cresselia, all these water Pokemon, like Annihilate. How far did Medi fall? Medi's at 20. Like, it doesn't actually change Poliwrath. There's no real changes. That is like a complete shakeup like it has been in the past. I think these are like more changes at the margins. Again, I think you'll see, on first thought, I think you'll see more Empoleons, more Dragonairs, more Empoleons, more Feraligatrs, and more Airquinids. But that's about it. So if you're seeing more of those, how do you offset that? More grass type Pokemon, maybe, but it doesn't help. It doesn't help with most of these Pokemon are gonna run the Skarmory core where you're gonna get killed anyways, right? So maybe more grass, but like grass is already kind of weak in general. Maybe even more fighters if Empoleon comes out, right? Because fighters and Airquinid will resist fighting, but like in general, if there's more steals and fighting does fine against water, like maybe a little more fighters. Again, these fighters don't really affect me here. These grounds for the most part won't affect. I think there's like, unlike past seasons where there's like 10 plus Pokemon that like really like get affected, like the wing attack buff in the past, that is something which changed the meta completely, right? Gligar up, all these wing attack Pokemon way up. Not that Scorching Sands changed a ton, but like it did help a couple Pokemon here with better moves. And then Scald, obviously the biggest one last season, which I think needed a nerf, just like absolutely drove up Whiscash and Poliwrath and stuff. I don't see that here. I see Empoleon for Alligator, Airquinid, maybe more Marowaks, but again, Shadowbone got a buff, but so did like 15 water Pokemon, so I don't think Marowak becomes that much better. So I don't know. I don't think the meta is going to change a ton. I don't think the meta is going to change a ton, which kind of scares me a little bit. But we'll see how it actually rolls out. Anyways, when PV Poke updates, the problem is we won't have stats. I will do this more in depth tomorrow. My video tomorrow morning will be like if PV Poke has updated some rankings and stats and stuff, I'll go over that tomorrow morning and like what this means for the meta. But for the most part, my first impression is that it's not going to change the meta up too much with a couple Pokemon rising and maybe a couple falling a little bit. But overall, I think it's like more of the same old, quite honestly. Anyways, that is it. Thanks for watching, and we'll cover this more in depth probably tomorrow on Friday before League Tournament on Friday.